Hi, I'm Dr. Sean Salai. I'm the author of Sharing Faith Online, a guide to digital evangelization from New City Press 2022. And I'm a veteran journalist of 20 years, a spiritual author, a former Jesuit. I'm a reporter at the Washington Times newspaper. I spent 7 years with America Media, working for the Catholic Press. And I'm here today to talk about distrust in the media. And distrust in the media is something that seems widespread. If you look at recent Gallup polling on Americans' trust in institutions, their trust in every institution from politics to religion to the media is kind of at historical lows this past year. And the question is, how do we rebuild that trust? Quite simply, I find in my life as a journalist that the best thing to do is not to simply pick things up and repeat them in my articles, to throw them out on social media unless I've completely vetted them. And there's a real temptation in our digital culture today to kind of just take anything we see that's juicy or that's a clickbait headline and we throw it out there. And there's a lot of entities out there that know this, and a lot of them are partisan entities from the hard left or the hard right of the political spectrum. They dangle things out there on Twitter and Facebook, and the goal of it is to lure journalists in and get them to repeat it. And so one of the challenges of being a reporter or a writer or a journalist today is that quite often these new media get things up online before the rest of us. And so even before ABC News or CBS or Fox News or MSNBC, the sort of traditional outlets, get to something, the story's already out there on social media through viral videos. And we've learned quite a few times that those videos can be misleading. And stories can be repeated without any sort of validation to them, whether it's the story with the fellow in the January 6th riot at the Capitol who some early reports said he was killed with a fire extinguisher, which proved to be incorrect, or the young man a few years ago at the March for Life who had a MAGA hat on and was smiling, and he was on a Catholic school trip. And it turns out that he was sort of raked through the press unfairly, and he won a lawsuit against CNN. And so as journalists, the best thing we can do is watch out for bad actors. And when we report something and it seems too good to be true, sometimes the best thing we can do is take a step back, and rather than repeating it, take the time to vet it, take the time to check it. As a reporter, I don't put anything out there unless I've confirmed it with a third party or talked to other people. And I always try to quote both sides of the story. And whether we're in the Catholic press or in the secular press, we can never go wrong by having too many sources, by checking things one more time, or by looking to make sure every detail in a story is accurate. And I've had some bad experiences in my life where I've picked up a story that I got a press release from some politically motivated group, and I wrote it up, and then I had egg on my face and had to write a correction to a story. And I think that's happened to a lot of us in the media these days. And as we're trying to run this rat race to keep up with social media, we want to be authentic, we want to be respectful, we want to be kind, and we want to engage people from a place of charity, and especially be concerned for the truth. And that means kind of becoming aware of our own biases and resisting those biases so that they don't lead us into throwing something out there that's fake news. And so I've been blessed to be affiliated with New City Press these last couple of years in writing up some ideas for sharing faith online through digital faith sharing and media. Sometimes positive news and happy things don't seem to register much. It seems to be the political dreck that gets out there and seems to draw people the most. And at the same time, even if our job is at a secular paper to write things up that are usually kind of fearful and scary about COVID or about different statistical trends about crime or shootings or things like that, which quite often comes across my beat as the culture reporter at the Washington Times. One thing we can do is kind of take a second look at these things and say, is there a way that I can always insert some sense of hope or some sense of maybe good news in this story? And even if I can't find anything good, maybe in my other social media presence and my other dealings as a journalist, I can try to find a way to be fair and respectful and kind, and to not get into the food fight that often occurs on social media. Bishop Robert Barron says he often gets along better with the atheists and the agnostics on social media than the Catholics, because Catholics sometimes get drawn into these very insular sort of food fights about how to be the best Catholic or the most correct Catholic. And so we have to just remember that there's a God and I'm not it. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to participate in this conference virtually. And my prayers and my thoughts are with you. Thank you.